like to welcome everyone to the June 14, 2022 regular scheduled Port Clinton City Council meeting in the Linda Hart Lab Council Chambers. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. The Lord is fair and homeless on citizens serving and protecting us.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you. You may be seated. Linda, quick, please call the roll.
Pat Lopez. Present. Jerry Schwally.
Present.
Roseanne Hickman. Here. Beth Gilman. Present. Lisa Sardi.
Present.
That's something new.
Oh my God. Mix it up. Anyway, Margaret Phillips. Kelly Pink. Here. Richard Morgan.
I'm here too.
I'm so sorry.
Welcome, Lisa. I'm glad to be here tonight. Council, you previously received the May 24, 2022 regular meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve?
Madam President, I move to approve the May 24th minutes.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Hickman. I have a motion by Ms. Phillips, seconded by Mrs. Hickman to approve the May 24, 2022 regular meeting minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Thank you. Motion carries. The chair notes that certification has been made regarding compliance to the rules and notifications of this meeting. We have no guest presentation, no public comment. Okay. Move on to executive officer's report. Actually, I don't have anything this evening. I'll let the mayor. I have some stuff, but I'll let the mayor take over and make all the announcements. So.
Well, thank you, Madam President.
Mayor Snyder.
Thank you very much, Madam President. Tonight's such a special night that you get double the mayors. I'd like to welcome Mayor Babcock from the Village of Oak Harbor. As you know, the two communities have partnered in search of state capital fund dollars to promote arts in the community. And I announced at the last meeting that both communities were awarded Port Clinton for the first time ever state capital dollars to help the art garage. And I'm not really sure why he's here, but I thank you for coming up. No, I know why he's here. But I just want to publicly thank Mayor Babcock for his assistance. He basically ran the show between the two communities to get this going. He's gone through this process before. It was very educational for me, and I can't thank him enough for what he's done to make Port Clinton and the Village of Oak Harbor and the entire Ottawa County area better in the form of arts. I don't know if you wanted to say anything in regards to what the process or whatever.
No, I appreciate that. Appreciate the kind words. Mayor Mike was really a very strong player in the process. You know, we just worked very well together. Anytime we needed something done, I was like, "Hey, Mike, this is what we need to do." You know, I remember calling him over on Teresa Gavarone was visiting, and I called him like on the drive over, and I said, "Look, this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to say this. We're going to say this. We're going to say this. We're going to say this." Okay, yeah, we can do that. You know, it all worked well, and we worked well together. And I thank you for your support and your cooperation of the process. I really do think it worked well going together, and my aspiration would be that we continue to do that. Specifically, you know, this is sort of my dream, I guess, is to continue to use this funding source to support art funding. This funding source is very flexible. You can do other things with it. One of the really pros is they like seeing projects that are resourceful. They like specifically funding arts projects, and they like seeing collaboration. So it's really a very good funding source. I think, you know, I think maybe Councilman Vila at the time, I think, mentioned it. You know, we're getting other communities involved, so we have, albeit presumably, I'm trying to get together with Mayor Jackson and Elmore, but presumably I'll be talking to them at their next meeting about, okay, well, what kind of projects do you have going on? How can we collaborate better? You know, now that this sort of the funds acquisition process is closing. You know, now that we're opening up to the future, let's see how we can get more players involved. I've had some preliminary talks to like the Genoa Civic Theater in Genoa. So thank you for your support. It's exciting stuff going on. You guys definitely did your part. Yeah, and that's why I got money. And they did a great job at the Arts Garage and the Arts Council. They did really, again, just really put up, did their part in terms of we said, okay, we're going to meet there, make it somewhere nice, make sure the artists are there so that the legislators get to talk to them, and just phenomenal job. They had the artists there, they had patrons there who were just sort of milling about, looking at things. They had it all decorated and arranged nicely. They had all the letters printed out. Again, just a great job. So we all worked well together. It went well.
It was nice bringing Senator Gavrone and Representative Swearingen through the Art Garage. They were both very familiar with what they're doing over in Oak Harbor because this was their second go around. But just to see what was happening in the Art Garage was very encouraging. And the money that was presented through the capital budget, we believe is going to open up some other doors in the community for folks to write some big checks to get that $1.3, $1.5 million goal that they have to renovate that space into what their vision is. And it's very exciting. If you haven't been to the Art Garage lately, you need to stop down. Every time I go there's something new, something exciting. It's the sides are full of folks doing their craft, including some folks we know very, very well down there doing their thing. So it's very, very exciting for the community. And it's starting to spill over. The whole idea of this Art Garage is to help that neighborhood and eventually into our downtown. And we're starting to see that already with what's happening. If you weren't aware, the Greater Port Clinton Area Arts Council sponsored a performance last night at MOM, the trombone collective from the Cleveland area, and they have other plans, obviously the art walks and all that other fun stuff. So I can't tell them thank you enough. We collaborate 364 days a year. It's just that 10th game of the high school football season that we don't talk to each other. So what we do, we just use different language. So didn't want you to make the whole trip all the way over here. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything fun and exciting happening in the village? Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, we really got the existing funding for the riverfront, so we're looking at that. We're looking at doing some community planning, so that's exciting. Not hot rod exciting, but but internally exciting. Yeah, we just completed as you may be aware, we just wrapped up our $10 million sewer separation project. So that was a big deal, and we're seeing that. And so I'm sure as you guys are well along your multi-million-dollar infrastructure investment journey, I'm sure you're going to see those dividends. And it's something that people's basements aren't flooding where they're flooding. The road is nicer. We managed to tie into a viaduct where under the train tracks on. They run across 163. We have a viaduct where you can go if the train stops. Well, now that doesn't flood anymore. There's lots of benefits. So I'm sure once you guys start making, once the groundbreaking happens, I'm sure you guys will realize those benefits.
We didn't plan that, but that's a great segue into my next topic here. We've asked you folks, and you've said, hey, go after as much money as you can. There's something called the 594 funds, and that's just the term that the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers assigns to these funds. They're funds dedicated to environmental infrastructure. And to our friends at Kogemeyer Design Group, they filled out an application, and we had a tremendous amount of support from Congressman Marcy Kaptur's office. She's in with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and I received a phone call last Friday from Marcy Kaptur stating that we're, as a city, are being awarded $2 million. That's dedicated towards Plan B, or Phase B, if you will, that below ground stuff. What exactly it's going to be used for, we're not quite sure just yet, other than it will be used for Plan B to reduce the overall costs. It may be feasible then to start the next phase, B.1 or B.2, whatever, a little bit earlier because of this additional $2 million, or it is quite possible that some of that may be eaten because of the inflation issues that everybody's experiencing. That's the same in the construction world, but it's a blessing to get this $2 million. Don't know the exact number, but it's in that $2 million range. So again, very, very exciting, and I can't thank Representative Capter's office and Pogemeyer Design Group for doing what they did, and you all for allowing us to go after those funds. You know, everyone says apply for grants, apply for grants, apply for grants, and I think Mayor Babcock will agree. You need two things before you can apply for grants. You need a plan and you need money. And now it sounds strange that you need those two things to get money, but without that, folks don't even look at it. So with this infrastructure fee and the street levy, that provided the onus for us to go after all these different sources of money. And I see more coming our way even after we start some construction. So that's all good news. Moving on to other topics here. You may recall last year, Walleye for Wounded Warriors came into the city of Port Clinton. This is an organization that brings in wounded first responders, wounded military folks for some time at the lake, some time with their brothers in arms. They're having another parade through the city. This will be this coming Saturday, June 18th at 4:15. They're asking that the citizens line the streets. They'll be coming in 163 Perry Street, right out here by City Hall, going down to Fulton Street, Fulton to 10th, and 10th to an event at the high school. So again, at 4:15, if citizens are able to line the streets with their American flags, that would be great. Update on the 4th of July festivities tomorrow night. Wednesday night is the second Pancakes for Pyrotechnics event. That'll take place at a la carte after hours from 5 to 7 p.m. Again, all these funds that we're generating going towards our 1 Mile of Dollars campaign to raise money for the 4th of July. On Thursday then, with the pancakes taking place tomorrow night, Thursday we're having a special event out at Bauman Automotive, Bauman Auto Center, out on Route 53. We're going to be doing the drawing for the Rockets Red Raffle. You know, anytime anyone donated $10, their name was put into a hat. And if you recall, the single biggest individual donor has the opportunity to shave my head. So you'll see me a little different Thursday afternoon. If you'd like to come out and see the fun, we will be doing it live on Facebook starting at about 10 o'clock on Thursday from the Jeep side of the Bauman Center. Moving on over to our tax department, again, Michelle Bryant, our newest tax commissioner, has been doing a wonderful job. She's still in the process of evaluating, with some assistance from Mr. Bilo and Mr. Brenner and others, software to improve our DOS-based program that we have right now. Yeah, I said DOS. But in the meantime, she is sending out approximately 3,800 letters to non-filers and non-payers that she's identified from the past 5-6 years, hopefully to get the response that's needed and again build the coffers of the city of Port Clinton from those non-filers, non-payers. Update on Mom. Mom is going far better than we could have ever expected. So much so that I made a request to Republic Services. If you've been down there, you notice there are 6 blue toters for trash. They're filling up so quickly, we had to request 6 additional toters. So that's a great sign. Crowds have been huge. More cups are selling like you wouldn't believe. Want to thank Gullies, Toffs, and the Lake Erie Fish Company for purchasing umbrellas. We're looking to get their logos printed on those umbrellas. Again, sun, it's hot, all that fun stuff. And put out the APB, if any of you or any of you know anybody that has extra cornhole boards. There are 2 down there now. They're incredibly popular. We do need some additional cornhole boards. So if you are so inclined to break the one out of your garage or attic or closet or basement that's just collecting dust and want to donate it to the cause, give me a holler and we'll be happy to take those off your hands. Moving on to the grass holes, and you may want to take this, turn back to the village of Oak Harbor too. The grass holes are people that mow their clippings into the street. It's not a term we came up with. It was in a letter to the editor a couple years ago. But not the storm last night, but the storm a week ago Sunday. I think Mr. Trolley reported we had 3.3 inches of rain in a short period of time. There was a tremendous amount of street flooding, and we called our street city crews out and had a good conversation with Luke Johnson. Most of the street flooding was caused by grass clogging the catch basins. So, you know, other than bicyclists and motorcyclists slipping on the grass clippings, there's no doubt whatsoever that when they washed out, they clogged and cause problems. Our law enforcement, our police department is warning people. I'm not sure, Ms. Schenker, if they've cited anybody just yet, but the word's getting out that that's the wrong thing to do. If you look at last night's storm, there was very little, if any, street flooding. So it's getting out there. With our weed warriors, 52 or a little bit more than 52 letters were sent out to individuals to mow their high grass. Again, Luke Johnson estimates that about 50% of those folks that received the letter had responded and taken their own action to mow. Our crews are in the process of trying to catch up and get those additional lawns mowed. Brush pickup is going to continue with storm damage. Last night, a little bit of storm damage, and just the fact that folks are trying to catch up, our guys are trying to catch up with lawns and so forth. We're going to extend that through the remainder of this week, so get your brush out to the curb. And to help all of our year-round guys along, we've been talking about this for a couple of months now. We have 3.5 seasonal employees that have started in the past 5-6 days. The most recent started yesterday, and these are the guys that'll do the weed whipping and the trash all throughout town and cleaning the restrooms and painting what needs to be painted and so forth, to free the year-round guys to do what it is that they do. We've made a considerable amount of progress. Moving on topics here, we've made a considerable amount of progress on blight. I know we had some folks at the last city council meeting, but some of these things that we were doing were already in the works. We had a great conversation with the Ottawa County Health Department and the building inspector. You know, one of the things that we've investigated as we go through this is, as a city, we don't have a lot of the resources we need. We're not big enough to have those resources. But the county has resources that we can call on. And we've had these conversations with these two groups, and we're looking to also schedule one with Job and Family Services, because they do some specific things out in the community, and they have some specific rules that the city can utilize to help with blight enforcement. We had part of the conversation yesterday with the building inspector. The Danbury Township has also taken on this. They got a head start, a couple years head start on us. He gave us some great suggestions, told us what Danbury has done. We're going to take that into advice as we move forward here. And again, Ms. Schenker is working on some legislation to speed up some of the processes that need to happen, because it is frustrating that someone is given 10 days to remove a sofa that shouldn't be there to begin with. Final two things are in the fun category. As a proud member of the Port Clinton Kiwanis Club, we are selling raffle tickets at $5 each, and you can see any Kiwanis member. The winner will receive 2 season tickets for all of the home games down in Columbus for the Ohio State Buckeyes. There's 8 home games this year, including Notre Dame and that team up north. So again, raffle tickets are $5. We'll be selling those through early August. And then finally tonight, this Sunday, June 19th, happens to be my mother's 75th birthday. So I want to wish my mom happy 75th birthday. With that, Madam President, unless the other mayor has anything to add, that concludes my report this evening.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions?
Does council have any questions for you?
Yeah, are you still are they still selling the tickets for the raffle, for the fireworks, or is that?
I will take your $10 up until Thursday when my head gets shaved.
Okay,
So-
you got it.
So
Thank you. That's it.
I'll take it afterwards, but it won't go to the fireworks.
Okay.
What kind of resources are we talking about the county has regarding
Yeah.
blight?
The Ottawa County Health Department has health codes that deal with blight. The reality is those codes were written in 1953 and haven't really been used. How do I say this politically correct? The previous administration didn't see blight as a priority. Jerry Bingham, the current, sees it as a priority and is very willing to work with us. Mrs. Schenker has a copy of those requirements and is looking, I don't want to put words in her mouth, but Dina, you're looking at ways of incorporating that into what we do when we send letters out to individuals with blight. With the building inspector, we can't as a city go inside a structure. He can. Job and Family Services goes into structures to do what they do on a daily, check on the elderly, check on children. They can report back to us. Things like that. The eyes and ears that, and the ability to go into things that we can't. As we're having these conversations, I keep going back in my mind, and some of you that have been around for a while may remember the boat checkpoints that used to be on the Portage River. You had the Port Clinton Police, the Coast Guard, Customs and Border Protection, several other agencies. Not one entity could do everything, but Customs and Border could do this, the police could do this, Coast Guard could do this, and together they were able to have a successful voter checkpoint. That's kind of how I equate this. We as a city can't do everything. The health department helps us. Hopefully Job and Family Services can help us. The building inspector can help us to, and legislation can help us to address some of these issues. That makes sense?
Okay. Mayor Babcock, you are more than welcome to stay if you like, but if you'd like to leave, we totally understand.
I'll stay tonight. I have another meeting.
We want to talk about it.
Okay, the auditor's not with us, but he did forward his May 31, 2022 financial report. It's been passed out to everyone. And when we get to correspondence, if council would like to add that, I will entertain a motion at that time. Treasurer's report.
Yeah, but tax collections through the June 14th date are $53,438.32, 21% of what we hope to collect. And our dock tax is at $19,850, which is about 71% of what we hope to collect for the year.
Any questions for the?
Thank you.
Thank you. Law Director report.
Thank you, Madam President. If anyone needs one of those Kiwanis raffle tickets, I'd be more than happy to sell them to you. I don't know about this other guy back here, but I will be more than happy to give you those.
Mine are right here.
Are those mine?
No.
I'm just saying. Anyway, also, what the mayor was talking about with regards to blight is, I think previously, we have a lot of different departments working in the city and county, but we weren't working together. So we're trying a new approach where, the city has reached out. We've reached out to the health department. We've met with them. We've reached out to the Ottawa County Building Department, the building inspector. We're going to reach out to Children's Services. We're going to try to connect with Humane Society. We've already collaborated with the fire department. With our police department, we're going to reach out to the Ottawa County Land Bank, and if you put all of those resources together, in addition with our city ordinance, we can actually probably get something accomplished. For example, we can go out to the house from the city, and we can look at our external property maintenance code, and we can cite violations solely from that code. But for example, if there's a structural issue, like if there's something wrong with the roof, or if there's something wrong, I can say, yeah, that roof doesn't look good. But if the property owner wants a detailed professional, explanation as to why that roof doesn't look good, Tracy Burrow from the Ottawa County Building Department, he has agreed to come out and give them that explanation, and also do an inspection. Also for the city, do an inspection if there's ever a building or structure, home that needs possible to be condemned possibly. So if we team up with his office, we can go a step further than just saying, oh, that roof doesn't look good, because I honestly don't know what the problem is with the roof other than it's sagging. Jerry Bingham from the health department, they have a very long list of sanitary conditions that a home needs to comply with. So we can look at the outside and say, yeah, things aren't looking good, but they can take that step further and make sure that they have running water, they have sanitation, they don't have cockroaches, they don't have like bugs, rats, like any type of infestation, things like that. So that's just another layer to make sure that the people who are residing in the home are living in sanitary conditions, and also the outside's looking decent. With regards to Children's Services, if there's children in that home and they're living in those conditions, that's going to be another resource to help that family with any type of issues they may have, which put them into that situation. same with the Humane Society, if there's kids, there's pets, and, you know, they can also be a resource hopefully as well. With regards to the fire department, there's a lot of fire codes that people could be violating, especially now the summer is here with fire pits being too close to the home, with swimming pools being in the wrong location, making it a fire hazard. So, you know, you have the fire chief, you know, jump in his truck and come out with you. Now you have someone's eyes that are looking at a whole different aspect than what you're seeing. And then we have the Ottawa County Land Bank that can foreclose on vacant properties that pretty much are in bad shape, as long as they're behind on their real estate taxes, and that's almost the last resort. But if we do have a property like that in the city, we can refer that to the prosecutor's office and then to the land bank to see if that's something they can help the city out with. And possibly then we'll have funds to tear down that property. So lots of different resources, and as the mayor put previously, I don't think the agencies were necessarily working together, so we're trying to do a collaboration effort to get everybody to work together so everybody has their little piece of the puzzle. Also with our police department, they've been really good with going out, checking vehicles, vehicles that are out of the street, expired tags, campers that are not where they're supposed to be. So that's another piece that we're trying to put in there. So if we all work together, hopefully we can clean up some of that blight Mayor is referring to, and also we're still trying to tighten up our ordinances. Hopefully we'll see that, you guys will see that soon. I'll be bringing that to you. So that's what we're working on.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for the law director, council? Thank you very much. Move on to supervisors' reports. Mr. Colston.
Mrs. Sardi, I'll be like you. The mayor pretty much covered everything we were going to discuss. The only thing I'll say is the H2O program, they had 0 calls or any action on it for the last month, so there was nothing new to report on that.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to committee reports. Finance, Ms. Lewis?
Thank you, Madam
Thank you. Environment and Public Works, Mrs. Hickman? Thank you. Safety Services, Ms. Phillips?
Thank you, Madam President. We're going to meet before this meeting in 2 weeks on the 28th of June for a meeting at 5:30. We'll be talking about blight and penalties. So we're going to get going fast on that too, rather than waiting further on down the line. I think that's where we'll begin on the 28th at 5:30 here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Economic and Community Development, Mrs. Gilman?
Thank you, Madam President. We met on last month on the 24th to discuss the ordinance 15-22, which I'll talk about when that comes up for a reading. And our next meeting is on the 28th after the council meeting.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Move on to correspondence.
Madam President, I would like to add to the correspondence the financial report for May 2022.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Trolley. We have a motion by Ms. Phillips, seconded by Mr. Trolley to add the financial report for May 2022 under correspondence. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Council, under correspondence, you previously received the Planning Commission May 12, 2022 minutes, the Architectural Review Board May 12, 2022 minutes, and then we've added the financial report for May 31st, 2022. Do I have a motion to approve the correspondence as stated?
Make that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Trolley. Thank you, Ms. Phillips. So we have a motion by Mr. Trolley, seconded by Ms. Phillips, to approve the correspondence as stated. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. We'll move on to readings of ordinances and resolutions. Under third reading, we have ordinance 13-22. Will the clerk please read by title and summary only ordinance 13-22?
Ordinance number 13-22, an ordinance amending sections 1309.01, 1309.02, 1309.08, 1309.09 of chapter 1309 of the Fort Wayne codified ordinances regulating fences and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action as to ordinance 13-22?
Madam President,
Mr. Trolley?
I'd like to make a motion retaining the emergency clause.
Thank you. Do I have a second? I'll second. Thank you, Mrs. Hickman. Any discussion? I have a motion by Mr. Trolley, seconded by Mrs. Hickman, to retain the emergency clause as to ordinance 13-22. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Pat Hovis. Yes. Jerry Trolley.
Yes.
Roseanne Hickman.
Yes.
Beth Gilman.
Yes.
Margaret Phillips.
Yes.
Kylie Gangle.
Yes.
Richard Morgan.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries by a vote of 7-0, and the emergency clause is hereby retained as to ordinance 13-22. Does council wish to take any further action as to ordinance 13-22?
Madam President, make a motion to adopt ordinance 13-22.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Hickman. Discussion? I have a motion by Mr. Troy, seconded by Mrs. Hickman, to adopt ordinance 13-22. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Beth Gilman.
Yes.
Kylie Gangle.
Yes.
Margaret Phillips.
Yes.
Richard Morgan.
Yes.
Jerry Trolley.
Yes.
Pat Hovis.
Yes.
Roseanne Hickman.
Yes.
Thank you. By a vote of 7-0, motion carries. Ordinance 13-22 is hereby adopted. We also have a third reading for ordinance 15-22. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only, ordinance 15-22?
Ordinance number 15-22, an ordinance ratifying the Community Reinvestment Area Agreement with Buckeye Community 76 LP and authorizing and directing the Director of Safety and Service to execute the Community Reinvestment Area Agreement substantially in the form attached to this ordinance and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action as to ordinance 15-22?
Madam President,
Yes, Mrs. Gilman.
I move we retain the emergency clause in ordinance 15-22.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Hickman. Any discussion?
Madam President, we had discussed this, I'm losing my mind here. We discussed the content of this ordinance at the May 24th meeting. We did vote 2-0 to recommend passage to full council of this ordinance. It was prepared by the law director. She's giving out some little information tonight. And again, we recommend passage of this.
Further discussion or questions? Okay, I have a motion by Mrs. Gilman, seconded by Mrs. Hickman, to retain the emergency clauses to ordinance 15-22. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Kelly Gangle.
Yes.
Jerry Trolley.
Yes.
Pat Hovis.
Yes.
Margaret Phillips.
Yes.
Richard Morgan.
Yes.
Beth Gilman.
Yes.
Roseanne Hickman.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion carries by a vote of 7-0. The emergency clause is hereby retained as to ordinance 15-22. Does council wish to take any further action as to ordinance 15-22?
Madam President,
Yes, Mrs. Gilman.
I recommend we adopt ordinance 15-22.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Hickman. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we have a motion by Mrs. Hickman, seconded by Mrs. Hickman, to adopt ordinance 15-22. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Roseanne Hickman.
Yes.
Margaret Phillips.
Yes.
Richard Morgan.
Yes.
Pat Hovis.
Yes.
Jerry Trolley.
Yes.
Beth Gilman.
Yes.
Kelly Gangle.
Yes. Thank you. Motion carries by a vote of 7-0. Ordinance 15-22 is hereby adopted. We have no second or first readings. We'll move on to business from the floor. Mrs. Hovis.
I would like to wish Mrs. Snyder Heights a happy birthday and happy Father's Day this Sunday also to all the dads in the room and city and have a safe.
Thank you. Mr. Trolley.
Yeah, the land bank, how many properties in the city limits do we have that are in the land bank now with the county?
Active.
Yeah.
That is something the prosecutor's office can probably help you, or Mark Mesa with regional.
Okay, I thought
planning.
maybe we had that info, we don't.
No, I do not know how many are currently open and active. I know that previously, there's been at least probably about 20 properties that the land bank has acquired through a land bank foreclosure, and has taken down
Right.
over the last few years. But as of right now, active, I do not know.
We don't know.
No.
Okay. Mr. Colston, the city crew, the city looks great. You guys are really busting it out there.
I'll pass it on to him, thank you.
couple of times, though, I've driven by the city park and met some grass in the street. Not all the time, not often, just a couple of times,
Call me immediately.
you know?
Call me immediately.
You got it. And happy Father's Day to everybody, all the fathers out there. And happy birthday to your mother. That is all.
Thank you. Mr. Morgan?
Oh, happy birthday, Mom.
Okay. Mrs. Daniels?
Yeah, happy Juneteenth, happy Father's Day, and happy birthday, Mama Mayor.
Mama Mayor, I like that.
Ms. Phillips?
Thank you, Madam President. Today was Flag Day. Did you all put out a flag? American flag? Oh, see a lot of yesterday. And did we ever get rid of the goat at that one house from the last meeting? Do you know? Remember that one?
The goat is still there. Apparently, according to our ordinance, the goat is allowed, unless it's loud, and causing a ruckus to its neighbors. It has not been loud or causing a ruckus, so, and unfortunately, unless the goat is loose again and running around the area, we can't really do much stuff. It's been confined to a little area in the backyard and in the garage, so we haven't seen much of the goat, but we know it's still there.
Is he a nice goat?
I have not met the goat.
I'm sure you could.
Right.
However, we haven't heard that it's gotten loose, so I guess that's progress.
You have goats in November?
They're allowed, yes. I don't know that we have any.
Do you want one?
Assets.
I can help you with it.
Anything else, Ms. Phillips?
No, thank you. That's it.
Okay, Mrs. Hickman?
Happy birthday, Ms. Snyder, and happy Father's Day, and that is it, Madam President, thank you.
Mrs. Gilman?
Happy everything. Apparently I'm having trouble with words today, so happy, happy, happy. That's it, Madam President. Thank you.
Okay. Seeing no further business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Madam President, I move this august body adjourn.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Hickman. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. We're adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
I'm sorry?
Just can't talk. Maybe I have a little bit of